Today, I am going to talk about why manufacturers are losing business in the e-commerce world. Most manufacturers sitting here today are losing the battle for product discovery, and this is important. Product discovery is a fancy way to talk about how your customers find the products they need online. This is something we experience every day in our personal lives. Last week, I wanted to buy sewing needles. So I Googled buy sewing needles. I scrolled past the first local stores, clicked on the top result, which was Amazon, and found that sewing kit for $6.99 and got it delivered the next day. It took me 2 clicks to find the products I needed. This was an outstanding product discovery experience. So I don't sew. Why was I looking for needles? Because I wanted to use one as a prop. And this prop has a point. And the point is that most of the time, when your customers search for technical products, the experience is pretty much like looking for a needle in a haystack. And I also found haystacks on Amazon, but I thought a picture would be good enough. So let's try a few searches to illustrate the problem. In this first, I jumped actually. So when people need your products, no matter what type of products they need, they're going to do the same thing as I just did. They start on Google, type in a few words. Now, the difference is, in my case, I was fine buying any type of sewing needles. Your customers have very, very specific needs. My search had only one attribute, sewing. When it comes to technical products, you may have thousands of similar SKUs and 80 attributes or more per product, which means that if even one of those attributes is wrong, or if you can filter by the right attributes, your customers will basically ended up looking like this guy. So let's try a few searches to illustrate the problem. In this first example, I am a maintenance engineer looking for a photoelectric sensor. I start on Google, and here in the top results, I found a famous brand, Omron. I click on the link, and here I get to great information about this type of product. Now, for my application, I need a specific sensor, and this sensor needs to have a sensing distance of 100 millimeters. So I go to products, and here I don't have the opportunity to filter by the most important criteria, which is the sensing distance. All I can do is go to product families and then product series, never getting down to an individual product page. All I can do is place an inquiry, filling a generic form. Okay. Now, if I try to search on the site, here is what I find. Product documentation, right? So as you saw, I didn't have a chance to find an individual product page with detailed specification, pricing, and availability. So what did we see here? We saw that the brand did a great job about SEO. But then that investment is wasted because I cannot find an individual product page. Why is it important to find individual products? Because if you get an inquiry on an individual product, we have found that your conversion rates are 5 times higher than when people fill out a generic form. Let's try a second example. This time, I'm looking for an HMI with a specific screen size and communication protocol. Here, in the top results, I find another famous brand, Eaton. When I click on the link, I get to great product content with detailed specifications. Now I realize that product doesn't have the right resolution for my application. Here I want to browse for more products, but I have no easy way to do it. There is no filters, no search, no breadcrumbs. This is to show that if you have great product content, but it is disconnected from how people can search and filter, your buyers will end up very, very frustrated. As a third example, I'd like to now go on my favorite distributor web store and look for a specific product, a Festo actuator. I see the site has 14,000 results for that search. So I want to use filter to narrow down my search. Here I can filter by price, categories, and stock level. I cannot use any filter that is relevant for my search, such as stroke length and board size. Having relevant filters is a very common problem in most distributors' web stores, which means that my experience now is pretty much like looking for a needle in a haystack. Let's try one more search, this time with a better discovery experience. Here I'm looking for a servo motor with these specs. In the top results, I find distributors and another brand, Mitsubishi Electric. When I go to the link, I get to a product page with all the information I need to figure out whether this is the right product or not. Okay? Now I realize that this product doesn't have the right rated current. I can easily go back using the breadcrumbs, and then I can filter with relevant attributes to narrow down my search. So I hope these examples make a powerful case about why it is important to help your customers find your products. It's very intuitive. Making life simple for customers allows you to win. So we have found that when it comes to technical products, more often than not, customers struggle finding the products they need. And first, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that when it comes to technical products, because of the vast number of attributes, it is extremely complicated to find what you look for. The scope and symptoms of this problem has been confirmed by research we conducted with DSG, the Digital Strategy Group. The study surveyed 110 of the largest manufacturers in the electrical and automation sector. We used a systematic approach to assess all those manufacturers' websites on SEO, product discovery, and product content quality. We summarized the findings of that study in that report, the Manufacturer Omnichannel Index. The report highlights what manufacturers are doing to improve their results when it comes to product discovery and the state of manufacturers when it comes to e-commerce. Feel free to come up and pick a copy at our booth later today or tomorrow. For now, I'd like to share a few of the key findings of that report. As I showed earlier, having the ability to allow your customers to search for individual product is a must. 75% of manufacturers' websites we looked at don't have individual product pages. The overwhelming majority, 90% of manufacturers, have less than 50% of the US price list listed on their website or web store, which means that your customers don't stand a chance at finding 50% of what you sell. And 95% of manufacturers don't allow users to use search with keyword to effectively find individual product pages. I hope those examples and data gives you a sense of urgency about the need to helping your customers find your products. And keep in mind that product discovery is going to become even more important in the years ahead as digital sales grow as a percentage of your business. So why do manufacturers struggle? You sell technical products, those have multiple attributes, and as I said earlier, it's a very complicated job. I'd like to spend a bit of time speaking about the causes, because understanding the problem is key in finding the solutions. When manufacturers try to solve the problem, the first issue they face is often a disconnect between product content and product discovery. In other words, when your team are enriching product content or writing product content, they are not thinking about the impact it will have on the product discovery process. They may be focusing on creating good-looking product pages or writing copy that follows the brand identity, but they most likely are not thinking about how SEO works or the ability to filter by relevant technical attributes. Another major issue that we face is that many of you are in denial that you even have a problem. So here are a couple of examples of the objections I have when I speak to manufacturers about product discovery. First one is, I'm not really in the e-commerce business. It's the job of my distributors to sell products online. Well, if your customers, or should I say your potential customers, cannot find the product they search for, you may lose the sale totally. And you can't expect your distributors to ensure a great product discovery experience about their own products. It is your job to help them help your customers. Another common objection is, we don't have a discovery problem. We spent a lot of money on SEO, and we drive a lot of traffic. Well, as I showed you earlier, if you don't allow users to easily find product pages once they get to your site, all of that traffic is going to be worthless. Another objection I have is, our website has a great configurator. So people can come here, use 10 clicks to configure a product and find what they look for. Well, it's great to have a configurator, but this is only one piece of the product discovery puzzle. Chances are, you may not have individual product pages with SEO-enriched descriptions, which means that your site won't be able to attract the right traffic for the keywords related to your products. And my favorite one, we have sales reps to help our customers find products. Well, do you really want to be paying your salespeople to be human search engines? So the good news is there is a solution, right? And I'd like to use the rest of our time together to talk about the things that you can do to help drive better product discovery. I don't have enough time to touch on every single point, but I'll try to share a few key areas as a starting point. It all starts with great product content, right? And as you saw in my speech title, today, most manufacturers' content is crappy or living on PDF catalogs. What is great product content? Think of it as a digital twin. It needs to have everything a buyer wants to know about the product, and it needs to also have everything search engines need to help customers find it. Great product content doesn't stay great on its own. It needs to be continuously maintained and optimized for discovery. Your products change, you need to have updated product content. Last but not least, it needs to get deployed in real time. We know many manufacturers who spent years creating great and rich product content, but then it takes them months before it gets deployed on their own or channel partners' websites or web stores. Search filtering and visual navigation. As I shared earlier, having the ability to filter is crucial in helping customers find the product they need. Search and filtering are good when people know what they look for, but visual navigation is also extremely important where people are not exactly sure where to look for or what to look for. Collaboration. As mentioned earlier, when your e-commerce teams and product marketing teams are not working together, you often will experience a disconnect between the product pages and how to get there. So those two teams need to work together so that you help the customers find what they need. And last but not least, one of the most important points, choosing the right platform technology. When it comes to selecting the platform, multiple teams will be involved. And what is very important in this process is to keep product discovery at the forefront at the decision criteria. It is great to have a ton of features, but if people can't find what they look for, there is no point. Also, as you set up the platform and as you make it more and more complex, do not forget the importance of SEO. If you put in too many complex features that impact the performance of your platform, you will impact the SEO, which means that you may not drive traffic and therefore not drive the right conversion. So if you're thinking that all of this sounds like too much work, I understand, right? And this is why I am going to tell you a bit how my company, KYKLO, can help you with product discovery. But first, I'd like to start with a short story. So I grew up in France. I'm sure you heard this already. In a small town called Grenoble, or as you would say, Grenoble. This town is the R&D center for Schneider Electric. My father worked at Schneider Electric, and when I graduated from engineering school, what did I do? I started working at Schneider Electric. When I worked there, what I ended up doing was spending hours and hours and hours rifling through paper catalogs, trying to find the right products for my customers. Every time I had to do this, it made me feel like I wanted to jump out the window. It just didn't make any sense. And I then realized that I was not the only one experiencing that problem, and that this problem could be solved. And this is why I started KYKLO. KYKLO is the first and only content-driven product discovery and e-commerce platform in the market. We've been doing this since 2015, and since then we have built the largest collection of enriched product content in the industry. KYKLO is the first company whose main focus is helping your customers find the shortest path to your products by leveraging enriched product content and through our web store platform, which was designed with product discovery in mind. I'd like to go back to the Mitsubishi Electric site we saw earlier. We built that site and content for Mitsubishi, which is a major manufacturer in the electrical space, and they have over 20,000 products. In that case, let's imagine that I've been buying variable speed drives from Mitsubishi for a while. Now I want to figure out whether I can buy HMIs from that vendor. Here I have a simple visual navigation that allows me to see all the product categories that Mitsubishi has. I can find the HMI category. I can go down to the series, decide that I want to see all the series because I don't know the one in specific, choose the screen size, choose the IP, and get to a product page in a couple of clicks. So what we saw here is that we were able to go from a high-level category level that covered 20,000 products all the way down to a single product in a couple of clicks. Manufacturers we have helped have seen over 50% increase in marketing qualified leads, over 30% increase in traffic, and have happier customers and salespeople than ever. So if this is something you think you can do yourself, yes, you can, if you are willing to dedicate enough time and resources to it. And this is a bit like, if you want a car, can you build it yourself? You can, if you want to dedicate enough time and resources to it. Or you could go to a shop and lease a car from experts who are specialized at building cars. So if you want to build your own car, I wish you luck. If you want to talk to experts, please come talk to us. And I'm very, very much convinced that everyone in this room cares about making their customers' life easier. I feel the same. I want to help you help your customers. So let's work together to create better product discovery experiences, because no one likes looking for a needle in a haystack. Thank you.